issue, man. I've been seeing a lot of things come out in regards to some matches being mandated and things of that nature. Did you happen to gander at any of these matches that's been mandated?
No, not really. Which one in particular are you interested in?
Interested? Shakur Stevenson and Isaac Cruz.
Oh, you know what? I think that's gonna be that will be a tough fight for Shakur. I mean that I think is that's gonna be a test for him, because Cruz has shown that he can be in there with a puncher, and Shakur is not really the puncher, but he's still a good boxer. So that will be a tough fight. That will be a good tough fight.
Yeah, I'm judging from your initial reaction. You said that would be a tough fight for Shakur. So that says a little bit. To me. But because I was calling for this, I had called for this fight. So I feel like the boxing guys were listening. What baffles me is people been online basically debating back and forth about why Cruz don't deserve to fight Shakur. I was like, what are y'all talking about?
No, I don't agree with that. I mean, come on, let's face it. Cruz went the distance, with Tank. So his credibility, you have to put his credibility out there. He's not going to be just a pushover. I mean, he may lose a fight, but he's not going to get in there and just be beat to a pulp where you have to stop the fight. He's always got a chance in a fight, and especially a fight with Shakur, who's not known to be the real, knockout type puncher, but a good boxer. I think that will be an excellent fight, and I think it will be a tough fight for Shakur. It won't be easy.
No, I think that would be a masterpiece right there. I would think that. People can say what they want. If Shakur step up to the plate and he fights Isaac Cruz, he come in on weight and he boxes and shows that he is the definition of hit and not get hit in a dominating fashion, he makes a statement that is a legacy fight, especially since this is the first one moving up. Now, I've already heard people saying, well, Bob ain't gonna make that. I said, look, it's been mandated. So somebody gonna have to do something, like somebody gonna have to move around, and something weird gonna have to happen if that fight don't happen. It's been mandated. So you can say Bob won't, this and this and that. I'm like, it sounds like to me some people are nervous for Shakur. And I'm like, man, listen, skills pay the bills. This would be his time to shine. That would be a statement. Now, I'm not looking, I don't even care about the outcome. I'm talking about making the fight and then letting the fight do what it do by actually following through to where that match gets made. That's my end goal. Now, the results of it is going to be what it is, but I've been calling for that. And that's the kind of style that, because it's like a quarterback. Them quarterbacks who they say, they like to have a clean pocket. Like they want to, on their 3-step drop, they don't want a messy pocket. They don't want nobody down at their knees. They don't want to see somebody coming around on their peripheral. They don't want one of them guards getting pushed back right next to the center with legs down. They want to be able to look down the field. Shakur likes that. Isaac Cruz is not going to let you have a clean pocket. He's not going to stop going forward, and if you don't have something that he feels like he has to respect, then he's going to come, and he's so awkward because his head's, he like a turtle. His head is almost like in a shell, but his arms can come out further and he can still catch you, because even for his size, first of all, you looking down. It's very seldom a lot of boxers fight people where they looking down like that with a guy who fights in that manner. Like, 'cause that's almost glimpses of like Maidana, like how Maidana can be tucked off in the shell and he's still gonna get that wild ass overhand off on you. So it's a perfect thing where if Shakur can actually show that he can be a matador and he can tame that bull and he do it in a convincing fashion where he don't get lumped up or knocked out or rocked or, you know, even though those things gonna happen. This is the elite level now. I would say that's the elite level fight right there. So
it is because, you know, Cruz has shown that he can be rugged and he can hold his own in a tough fight. And I'm telling you that will be an epic battle. You know, like you said, he would have to be the matador because the bull is coming. Mm-hmm. You know, so yeah, that's gonna be a test for Shakur.
Mm-hmm. They got Let me ask you about another one. Let's change pace. Deontay Wilder and Andy Ruiz has been mandated.
Well, I think that will probably be an interesting fight also, because Wilder is trying to get back on track, okay? And right now, he needs those type of fights because he's going to have to fight somebody that's credible, because after losing those fights with Fury, if he's going to get back on top, he's got to beat the best. And he's got to make a statement. So I like that matchup.
Early on, I mean, are you leaning one way, or you just, I mean, what do you see? Like, do you see, because a lot of people are already just discounting Andy Ruiz. I'm like, this is ridiculous, man. Like, we're in the era now where everybody, it's to the point where, man, fans will have you thinking, well, shit, we might as well not even see it. We might as well just, you know, shake hands and say that, you know, Wilder won, you know, because the way y'all talking is like, you know, like nobody, and like that's not real. That's not realistic. They saying he has no chance in the world. Like, they already discounting and saying, well, why now? And what, he has no chance. I'm like, I think that's a good fight. That's the classic speed versus power. I mean, if you ask me, you know, it's whether or not Andy has learned from, because he has been caught coming in, but Andy is also swift to where when he's on the top of his game, and you would think that his senses would be on extra heightened alert, knowing that right hand is coming. You know, the right hand cometh, but he's also kind of shifty. He's very shifty with his feet. You know, he might get knocked down, but he'll show that he can get knocked down, or he can, you know, go through some adversity, and he can come back. I mean, because he did shock the world and put AJ down quickly, handily. You know, when he was at his best. So it's a fight I want to see. But what do you see happening? Like, you don't have to give no prediction or nothing, but like, what do you see, like, pros and cons of that?
Okay, the keys to victory for Ruiz. He has to use his lateral movement, stay out of range of the right hand that Wilder's gonna throw, because you know that's his home run pitch. If he's able to do that and carry him at least halfway through the fight before he really start putting pressure on him, I think he's got an excellent shot. If he tries to move in and attack Wilder too early, Wilder will still be strong, and he's feeding into that right hand. So I think what he has to do is to use his boxing skills, stay on the outside, work his way in, move back, stay away from the right hand, and attempt to frustrate Wilder and push this fight later down in the rounds. And if he's able to do that, then he may even be able to stop Wilder. But don't try to stop him in the first half of the fight, because at that point he would be putting himself in a vulnerable position, because we all know it only takes one punch from Wilder to hit you before you hurt. So he has to be a little cautious. And don't try to end this fight too early, but push it into the later rounds.
Hey, look, Andy Ruiz is gonna have to be a ninja. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to be a ninja. You know, so I want to see the fight. That's what I want to see. I see good and bad, and it's a fight to where, you know, Andy Ruiz worked himself back, Wilder's working his way up. You know, it's an easy deal to make. You know. It's two different fan bases, but you know, some of the same, because if you like heavyweights, then boom, you like heavyweights. But then you have the black against the Hispanic fan base. Everybody's happy, you know, big fight. I think it does well purse-wise. Nobody got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, whether or not they're going to be frying fish tomorrow if that fight get made. And the fans get what they want, because they seeing two of the guys, you know, they both suffered adversity and they heavyweights. This is what the heavyweight division is about. That's why I didn't want Ruiz to get leapfrogged, but I think the boxing guys been listening, man, because they've been correcting a whole bunch of things. They just still haven't corrected this 47 thing. And let me transition into that. They were saying that KeithThurman has been mandated for Earl the Truth Spence.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't agree with that. I really don't. I don't agree with that. That's something that they trying to make, but I don't agree with that. Not at this particular moment. I really don't. Because at one time they were saying that Ennis would be the number one contender for that spot. Now they're saying Thurman. So I really don't know what's going on with that situation. Maybe they looking at it from the point of view of what fight is more marketable in terms of the purse and what they can actually achieve. But I don't think Thurman should be number one for that belt right now. I just don't believe that.
Yeah, we talked about. I think we went over that. Now, you know, it's kind of awkward. I mean, I hear people saying, "Man, it's only right because that's, you know, because of the history and you know." So from that aspect, yes, but from the aspect of how Kivipu danced around, and you know, I'm gonna be honest. When KeithThurman came on record and said he didn't know who Jerron Boots Ennis was, he lost. It's hard for me to hear somebody say something like that and then believe them, like, because I don't know after that. I'm like, I don't know if you lying or if you telling the truth at that point. And that's when I started. It was the integrity that was compromised for me. I'm not saying that electric can't get in your bones and you can be like, man, look, man, this one last time. All I gotta do is just go in there for, you know, for 12 rounds and, you know what I'm saying, and just, you know, put everything together. This is a chance. This is a bag. I'm not saying that can happen, but for me, I question everything after that, because it's like now you want to get in the way of something that you passed up. Like it was you by your own admission. So why now? So I'm like, but then it make me look at, well, how did he get there? I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. I don't want to start looking into how he even got put there. I don't, you know, because it might lead me on to something I really don't want to know, man. Because look, we thought it was Stanionis. We said Stanionis and Earl would be good for boxing. Like, we thought it would be good to be boxing fixing itself. Okay, then people was like, okay, well, shoot. Well, Boots is up there, and that would be something to wear. But then we said, okay, that really don't make sense. But as fans, we would want to see it. Now we about to get Thurman if that fight don't get made. I'm like, well, if it ain't Thurman, is Earl moving to 54? I mean, because Tony Harrison and Fundora got mandated.
Yeah, you and I, like you indicated, we did have this conversation about that weight class, and we both agreed that we didn't feel that Thurman was the fighter that should be getting the fight. You know, and I still don't think he should be getting the fight. You know, Stanionis deserves the fight. Number one. Right now, I don't know if Spence and Boots is feasible or marketable for the money, the potential money that can be made in that fight. I don't know. That fight might be premature in terms of the purse. But Thurman, I just don't feel deserves that title shot right now. I really don't. I would like to see Stanionis get the fight. I really would. Or either if Earl decides not to fight at 147 anymore and move up, then you got that frenzy we talked about within that 147 division, where you're going to see some explosive fights because, you know, the cream going to have to rise to the top if you're trying to be a champion and collect one of those 3 belts.
Yeah, and also to close this out, after Bud, you know, get it on with Polynesian sauce, they saying that him and Virgil Ortiz is going to be that next one that's been mandated. So I'm like, that makes it look like Spence and Bud ain't ever going to happen, man.
You know what? I mean, that's the way it looks to me. And it's all about Bud. Bud had the opportunity of making this fight happen. He promoted the fact that Bob Erm couldn't get him to fight, so he left Bob Erm, I thought, in an effort to solidify this fight. But I don't know what his primary motive is, but I don't think it was to fight Earl Spence.
I'm not laughing at you. I just find it humorous that we don't know, man. We don't know. Like we don't know this kind of energy, man. Like this kind of energy is like, I mean, we see it and we know that it's some fuck shit. Like we know that it's but just hearing people rationalize it. I mean, people are still making videos and still harassing people, saying that Bud did the right thing and he's getting, you know, $10 million. And I'm like, man, like y'all sound so, like y'all don't sound like boxing fans. Y'all sound like Bud only fans. Cause you're not a fan of the sport if you're condoning this kind of behavior. There's no way I can't justify it. It's no way I can justify it.
I'm with you on that. We all been waiting for this fight. We've been talking about it. Everybody knows this was the fight that the boxing world is looking forward to, and all the steps were made to make this fight viable. All the steps were made. Now all of a sudden the deck has been reshuffled, and now Bud is with a unproven entity in the world of promoting fights. They're not even tested yet. So I don't understand what made him do that. So it's not making sense to me.
Yeah, that's why I say I still got a little hangover when I think about 47. But once again, on a positive note, we have a lot of good fights on tomorrow. It's a young lady, I think her name is Beatrice. She's making her pro debut, and she's coming out and she's doing 6 3-minute rounds. This is her pro debut. She's fighting a woman that's 5-0. She's like a 2-time gold medalist. They saying she the next best thing since sliced bread. Eddie's opening her up to the world. We got that guy Montana Love from Ohio, the one that come out with the dog and all that. He, you know, the one Eddie, like that's like his little star in the making or whatever. He's headlining the event, but it has Richardson Hitchens on it from the Money Team. He was previously on the Money Team. He was over there with Tank and them. Felt like he wasn't getting the opportunities like that. He fought Malik Hawkins from Baltimore, and he won that fight. And I thought that was tough for them to be matched up early. He's on that undercard. He's aiming for the guy Montana Love that's headlining the card. It's in Ohio. The card is stacked with a lot of talent, man. It's like there's a lot of talent on that card. It's a little bit of everything on that card, and the action starts tomorrow at 5:30. So, Eddie is putting on, man. I think he's learned. Oh, it's a guy named Raymond Ford, one of my young guns, Ray Ford. He like little Mighty Mouse, man. That dude sharp, quick, fast. Got some power. He's in there with a tough matchup. So it's a lit card tomorrow. So that's a positive thing about, because boxing goes on. It's not just about one or two fighters, even though it is the best fight that could be made. Boxing goes on, and we got, some material coming in tomorrow to work with.
Okay, so hopefully, man, we're gonna see some things in the future that we really want to see. But once again, backtracking, I just don't understand how they gonna push this fight past Stanionis and not give him the opportunity to fight for the title. I mean, the man, he has waited patiently, and it's his turn right now. It's his turn.
I mean, okay, let me ask you this then, since we talking about it. Is it almost now, to me, Spencer's my guy, but is it almost now to where Spence feel like, well, shit, I ain't have a plan B. I had, we was about to get this bag. He already know. He's a part of the system. He's the reason why, he's the majority of the reason why, newsflash, he's the majority of the reason why this is such a big fight. Because he has 3 belts. He is the cash cow in that division. He has a whole following. He has a whole state behind him. He's came from the bottom. And did it the hard way. He's went through adversity twice. He done all that. He's the big reason. He didn't have a plan B. So you left him at the altar. Is it almost like now Earl gotta take a fight to where it's a decent name to get, because it's not his fault. He don't deserve to miss out on the bag. He did what he needed to do against Ugas. So, I mean, he got to get it on. And so I'm like, it comes down to having a fight a mandatory, right? Or he could move up and create that frenzy. But I almost feel like he want to go ahead and get a nice name, and because he's been linked to Pacquiao. It'll be. I used to like Pacquiao, you know what I'm saying? I used to like him, man, like coming up. I just think that he fought past the time when, and this was years ago. This was years ago when I said, man, he fought, he's going past, he pulling that Roy Jones, with the same thing we were saying about Roy, fighting a little bit past the time. See, Bernard was the only one that really could do that. And then it always kind of turned bad when you do that. It just turns bad. Like when we look at Ali coming back and the people, how they propped him up to it was a travesty. But I don't really, I understand why. But for one, Pacquiao coming back in, man, would that not be worse than the fucking Thurman coming back in? Like, man, explain this to me, man. Break it down, man.
I don't agree with it. I have to concur with you on that. 100%.
I mean, but how am I can't make this shit up, man. I'm like, Pacquiao? I said, like, for what? Like, and I want to support it, but like, what?
And who is he supposed to fight?
Spence.
Man, look, nah, that makes absolutely no sense. He's not even in line to fight Spence.
That's what we said about Thurman, but that's even worse. This man was going back. He about to do a little. It was noted that if he's about to do a little exhibition and come back, I'm like, what is this wrestling now?
Yeah, I agree.
Like, what is we watching now? Like, that's why I say, man, that is when 37, 47 come up, I know it's so much talent, man. I talk about Virgil. I talk about Boots. I call Boots Sasquatch feet. We know what Boots is. We know he need an opportunity. We know about the blue collar guy who came up like Stan Giannis and how he got it out and how he worked up his way and he, you know what I'm saying, did what he needed to do. It's like, now it just gives me a hangover, man. So that's just that division. I don't understand. If some of this shit get made, it's like I'm done trying to defend any of the shit. I just want to see the fight, man. I'm done trying to. I want to understand. I just can't justify. I'm left with more questions than answers at this point, man. We just gotta wait and see what happens. You know, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not gonna be investigating this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like all you gotta do nowadays is just kind of wait and watch, and in time shit reveals itself. And you know, but chirping about it and making all this speculation, this is real stuff that came out, and I was just like, wow, I don't even know how to react. I ain't even know how to react, because you got one of the biggest channels in the world is basically saying F Stan Giannis. He had his chance and he stepped aside. I'm like, what are you talking?
No.
What are you talking about?
No, no. He had to step back, man, for the betterment of the boxing world, man. He would have caused himself to be a pariah if he got in the way of that fight.
Wow, that's a way to put it. That's a brilliant way to put it.
Yeah, he couldn't get in the way of that fight. Everybody wanted that fight. And guess what? He even wanted it too. He knew what was the right thing to do, and he did it.
Yeah. We gonna tie this one up, man. That was profound, man. You just dropped the jewel. I don't even want to taint it with nothing else, man. Man, you just dropped the jewel. So I'm gonna leave